Hello everyone! Welcome to the third installment of the Skyrim Jarls series, where we get to know Balgruuf the Greater, the Northern Jarl of Whiterun, one of the most beautiful cities in Skyrim. Known by his people as an honorable warrior, many also call him Balgruuf the Stronger. In his youth, Balgruuf traveled to High Hrothgar to meet the Greybeards. Balgruuf even tried to learn how to use the voice, Thu'um, but he failed. In this video, we will also take a closer look at his view of the Civil War, his rivalry with Ulfric and some of his more obscure traits. If you want to watch more informative videos about Skyrim, do not forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Enjoy watching! Balgruuf the Greater is the Nord Jarl of Whiterun Hold, residing in his Great Hall, Dragon's Reach. He is a major character in the main quest of Skyrim. It was common knowledge that Balgruuf the Great was a descendant of King Olaf One-Eye, an admirer of the Greybeards. In his youth, Balgruuf had made a pilgrimage to Hrothgar the Great with Ulfric Stormcloak, another important northern character. The rivalry between Ulfric and Balgruuf began in those years, when they were both young and fiery. The rivalry between the two continued in the following years in a major social event known as the Skyrim Civil War, and influenced the fate of the war. He also has a brother named Hrothgar. No one ever mentions the Jarl's wife. Nelkir mentions during the quest The Whispering Gate that he did not have the same mother as Dagny and Hrothgar. Balgruuf's wife is also not seen during the game. Balgruuf the Greater's younger brother Hrothgar is a northern warrior loyal to his older brother, even though he gets into disagreements with the Jarl's steward, Proventus Avenishi. Hrothgar is not, however, a supporter of the Stormcloaks, often voicing his support of the Imperials and how Whiterun should take the fight to the Stormcloaks instead of sitting around, as he puts it. Balgruuf the Greater, while eventually becoming loyal to the Empire, he puts Whiterun's interests first, many times denying the Imperial Legion permission to garrison soldiers in his city so as not to portray martial law. If he is asked what side he is on in the war, he will say that he is on the side of Whiterun, showing a great sense of loyalty towards Whiterun. In his neutral stance, he remarks that he may well be obligated to support one or both sides, the Empire as a province, the Stormcloaks out of loyalty to Skyrim. Indeed, he will only express open hatred of the Stormcloak Rebellion after the Dragonborn chooses a side in the Civil War, slandering them if they seize Whiterun with the Stormcloak army under Ulfric and his second-in-command, Galmar Stonefist. According to Gurdur, Balgruuf and Ulfric had been at odds for years and fears Balgruuf will side with the Empire out of spite. Balgruuf's distaste for the Stormcloaks may stem from the fact that he had refused to declare allegiance for either side, but Ulfric attacked Whiterun anyway by deeming anyone who did not support him as an enemy. As it was said by Ulfric during the Markarth incident, "You are either with us or against Skyrim." Since Whiterun's provisions were terribly diminished during the Skyrim Civil War, and Ulfric's uprising had doubled the costs of goods, Balgruuf ultimately sided with the Empire in order to preserve the more lucrative trade agreements with the Empire. Balgruuf the Greater, while considered to be an honorable warrior who put his heart and soul into his service, he was also not considered a patient man. Following the White Gold Concordat, he and the other Jarls were given chests of gold as compensation. However, he continued worshipping Talos privately and, according to Nelkir, hated the Thalmor as passionately as the Stormcloaks. If encountered at the party at the Thalmor embassy, he will make this view very clear and will also be more than happy to disrupt the proceedings on behalf of the Dragonborn. During the Stormcloak Rebellion, a shrine to Talos remained in Whiterun's Wind District, and citizens there were allowed to publicly proselytize in Talos' name without repercussion. The priestesses of Talos were even allowed to voice their opinions freely in public and to rage against the Thalmor.
Will rule Skyrim forever! Talos the mighty, Talos the unerring, Talos the unassailable, to you we give praise, and deserve our praise you do, for we are one.
Both the Stormcloaks and the Imperial Legion sought to gain Balgruuf as an ally, as Whiterun was prosperous, influential, and strategically located. The latter in particular allegedly made a great effort to obtain Balgruuf's loyalty. Balgruuf claimed to be neutral, saying he was only on the side of Whiterun. He refused to allow the Legion to garrison troops in the city, and he refused to acknowledge Ulfric's claim to the position of High King. Until the Siege of Whiterun, Balgruuf did not officially declare his support for one side or the other, but it was widely known that he was somewhat closer to the Empire. In fact, Ulfric gave Balgruuf no choice when Whiterun was besieged. Balgruuf the Greater is more interested in the dragon menace in Skyrim than in the Skyrim Civil War, with which he is usually closely associated, and considers it a greater danger than the Civil War. When the last Dragonborn came to him following the attack by Alduin on Helgen, Jarl Balgruuf ordered troops to Riverwood, directed the hero to High Hrothgar, home of the Greybeards, and quickly devoted his time and resources to addressing the dragon threat. He made the last Dragonborn Thane of Whiterun for slaying Mirmulnir when the dragon threatened the city. Some point after Mirmulnir's attack, Jarl Balgruuf finally declared his loyalty to the Empire in order to protect Whiterun against a Stormcloak siege and coordinated the defense of the city from Dragon's Reach. According to the official game guide, Balgruuf is viewed by many as the embodiment of a true Nord, and his allegiance with the Empire as having actually convinced many would-be Stormcloaks that the Empire may actually be the answer to Skyrim's problems. On a normal day, Balgruuf gets up early at 5 a.m. to head the main hall for a 1-hour breakfast. Then, at 6 a.m., he'll get up and take a seat on his throne. At 8 p.m., he leaves his throne and heads to his quarters to go to bed. If he's still Jarl, he and Proventus Avenici will also be present at Kodlak Whitemane's funeral. He wears noble clothes, a pair of fur-lined boots, and a golden ruby circlet. He wields a steel sword and carries a selection of upper-class loot and gold. Balgruuf has strong bonds with his friend and housecarl, Irileth, whom he fought alongside with during his time in the Legion. As such, she rarely lets him out of her sight and berates him for a lack of concern for his personal safety. Irileth is very serious about her job and her loyalty to Balgruuf, occasionally to the point of paranoia. Even after the Dragonborn kills Mirmulnir, Irileth remains distrustful of him mirrors her, though she still tells the Dragonborn that she is glad that they are on her side. She does not seem to care much about Skyrim's traditions or tales. After Mirmulnir is slain, she refuses to involve herself in debating about the Dragonborn's identity. She is simply relieved that the dragon is dead. We have come to the end of the third part of the Jarls of Skyrim series. In this episode, we meet Balgruuf the Greater, Jarl of Whiterun, the city at the heart of Skyrim, who has earned the respect of Northerners throughout the lands of Skyrim. Although he has taken a stand against the Stormcloaks, he is a great man for Skyrim. If you enjoy my videos and want to support me, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.